already up, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Magic Class 4 National Premier League action in the grade that's just kicked off the under-20s. Broadmeadow Magic is taking on Hamilton Olympic FC. Team lineup for Hamilton: number 21, Jez Murray; number 22, Jacob Kresner; number 24, Zach Bailey; number 25, Bailey Blumell; number 27, Alex Green; number 28, Kyle Fiakos; number 29, Matt Daly; number 30, Ty Davis; number 32, Tim Stewart; number 34, Connor Henderson; number 43, Kai Forson. Substitutes for Hamilton, we have number 23, Jared Muller; number 26, Elijah Harrison; number 33, Baby Zima; number 63, Stephen Fiakos; and number 41, Lachlan Terry. For Broadmeadow Magic, we have number 11, Ethan Adesky; number 6, Jared Baker; number 5, Luke Callan; number 8, Tyron Cullen; number 22, Josh Davis; number 10, Jacob Dowd; number 4, Ben Gordon; number 1, Emerson Gosling; number 4, Davis Ifield; number 3, Adam Molinaric; number 7, Tino Murray; number 9, Jaden Johnson. Substitutes for Broadmeadow, we have number 15, Zeke Kent-Duong; number 66, Isaac Quinn; number 14, Luke Wilson; and number 13, Isaac Robinson. Once again, welcome to Magic Park and enjoy the football.
Forward! Send it! Give them on! How far? How far? Middle! Good, good! Okay, boys! on it, DRC. Brad.
Go boys, keep going.
Timmy! Get shape. Find a runner. Deal with it. Help him out, Ty. Big fella back. Ty, help him out. Thank you, Cal. Be aware outside here. Ty, get on this end with Stewie. Both of you, this end. Be aware down here, Luke. Back it in. Wall stays together. He's pushing it, man. Deal with it. Back stick, be aware, Bates. Pressure on it! Pressure on! Find a runner! Get sorted, you! Get up, get up! You wear Ty, behind you! Well done. Relax. Lazy boy, get close to Darcy. Drop in for a size. Get their ice and rest.
Guys! Spin!
Pressure on the ball.
Oh!
Good area, ice. Well done. Back stick, okay. Back stick, Luke.
Football Club members that have not come up and received their 2019 membership card, you can now come up to the clubhouse and speak to Stephen Kitchell for your 2019 member card. Broadmeadow would like to thank our 2019 sponsors: Adamstown Car Doctor, Durham Steel Fabrication, Bale Bosses Solicitors, Flora, Best Quality Flowers, Sabina Supply Chain Limited, Big Colour Sign and Diesel Wrap, Horse & Son Carpet, Was Design and Custom Kitchen, Cable Installation and Construction,
Yeah, a man try, still switch to a back. Back to your normal.
I rotate it, Timmy, rotate it. Oh, love it.
Patient, well done, be patient. Yes!
again, Ace. Track in time. Stewie, track it in. Ty, make him get it, Ty! Ty, make him play!
Good afternoon and welcome to a warm afternoon at Magic Park in Newcastle for the third round of the NPL Northern New South Wales season. It's the biggest derby in Northern New South Wales football. Broadmeadow Magic up against Hamilton Olympic. Both of these two sides playing their second matches of the season after we had a few washout matches last weekend. Both couldn't play their matches on Saturday evening, and it may only be round 3, but this biggest rivalry in Northern New South Wales football is already upon us, and it's the rivalry which just has so many memories. Maybe you remember in 1998 when Olympic won their first grand final, or when Magic returned the favour in 2012, defeating Olympic in the grand final. Peter Haynes' simply magical strike in 2013 to win Broadmeadow the match 6-5 at Darling Street, or 3 years later when the two rivals played out one of the most memorable semi-finals in recent history. There's a little between these two sides, and this afternoon they come in evenly matched. We'll look at the lineups for Ruben Zadkovic. He makes 3 changes from the side who went down 6-1 to Edgeworth on the opening weekend. The changes in each section of the pitch, with defender David Ifield out. Midfielder Cody Carroll drops back to the bench alongside striker John Majorowski. John Griffiths, Justin Broadley and striker Christian Brymora are all into the starting 11. Well, for Hamilton Olympic, just 2 changes for Peter McGuinness' side. It's a similar side to the one that beat Western 2-1 in the opening match day. Japanese import Shinichi Kawachi is away at a wedding, so he's a scratching, while fellow countryman Ren Fukumoto is replaced in the starting side by youngster Jed Hornery. The weather this afternoon, it was a scorching Sunday in round 1 for that match here at Magic Park between Broadmeadow and Edgeworth, and last week we had torrential rain. And now the heat is back in round 3, and you'd think we're in Melbourne. Currently it's 29 degrees with a southeasterly breeze blowing at 15 kilometres an hour, so just cooling things down. And the two coaches, Ruben Zadkovic for Broadmeadow Magic, his side's championship defence didn't get off to the best start in the opening round, but a win against their rivals in round 3 would be the perfect tonic to put that quickly behind them. And for Pete McGuinness, his return to Hamilton didn't quite go to plan last season, as his side missed the finals by a single point, but a strong finish to last season, followed by that opening round win against Western, has them looking as though they're on an upward trajectory. So Hamilton Olympic away from home at a ground which they've had a decent record at of late. Haven't lost here in the regular season since 2012. And they'll be running from left to right in their traditional blue kit. Magic from right to left of screen in this opening half, as we finish off round 3 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. James Clare, our referee. And round 3 gets underway in the derby between Broadmeadow Magic and Hamilton Olympic. With me in commentary this afternoon, we've got the band back together, Chris Turner and Damien Smith. Can you boys see Magic overturning this poor home record they've got against Olympic? And just hang on a sec, they might have a shot at doing this immediately, as Vigili curled it in and Kyle Hodges nods it over the back fence for a corner.
Well, good afternoon, guys, and great to have you all on board with us. Look, they have to Broadmeadow Magic, because the last time we were here, but without Smudge, simply they were poor, and they just didn't have any enthusiasm. They just weren't in the game, to be honest. Today needs to be a different story for them, and they need to come out at full attack. And I'm going to compare this one to the great Alexander the Great. Both countries going to claim them.
Here's Oxborough curling it towards the back post, where Christian Brymora was waiting in his first start for Broadmeadow Magic, his first start in the NPL Northern New South Wales for a couple of seasons.
Making reference to Alexander the Great, because both of these clubs, Hamilton Olympic, Greece, Broadmeadow Magic, Macedonia, claim to own Alexander the Great. And today, I don't know who's going to claim or own this game.
That was a nice little history lesson there, CT.
I thought it was terrific. You should become a history teacher, CT. skills like that.
Guys, just on the two squads, interesting with Ruben Zakovic making a few changes that lost to Edgeworth a few weeks ago. Obviously strengthened up the midfield quite defensively with Justin Broadley and John Griffith coming in the centre of the park, and having Mitch Oxborough playing in the number 10 role, just floating in front. So that's going to free him up a little bit. So I think that's probably a good move by Zakovic. Looking at Olympic, they had a tough game against Western a fortnight ago. McGuinness has virtually stayed with the same side. He's had to make a few forced changes, but yeah, in essence, they were sort of a little bit lucky to get the win against Western, for more reports. But you know, they're going to have confidence, obviously, win the first game of the season. Well,
it was that penalty that won them the match, and it was controversial, but got the job done in the end for them, and they hung on.
Well, the other big news for Broadmeadow Magic is that Brian Mora comes into the side, Smudge, and he's going to make a big impact for the group.
Yeah, he's coming for Johnny Madge, who, from more reports, got player of the match the game against Edgeworth 2 weeks ago. So, bit of a shuffle there. But Magic, they've got so much force going forward, haven't they?
Well, they have, and we didn't see it in the last game, and because Edgeworth just simply wouldn't let them get out of their back third, and they couldn't get into their own attacking box and get things going. It just wasn't on a roll. They need to change that today.
There's a corner kick for Hamilton Olympic, their first attacking foray. And you'll see their number 10, Reece Cooper, in the middle of the box. He has never scored against Broadmeadow Magic in the top flight. He scored in some big games for Olympic, but never against Broadmeadow Magic. And he put an end to that stat. Get the monkey off his back. Not on that occasion, as the corner well dealt with by Broadmeadow Magic and Justin Broadley, who's back in the side. And here's James Virgili, flirting with the touch line. And dispossessed in the end by Cody Lucas, who was a bench player for Hamilton a couple of seasons ago, and he slowly worked his way into the starting side.
He had a good year last year, didn't he? Sort of playing left fullback tonight.
He tries to knock that one between the lines. Looking for Jed Horner. He had a great start to his Hamilton Olympic career, but hasn't scored in his last 3 matches. That ball just overhit Virgili, couldn't track it down.
And Smudge, so we've got a couple of good players, and one in particular is Griffiths coming into the side here with Broadley, anchoring off in front of the back four. How do you see that will make a difference to what we saw 2 weeks ago when they were here in the last game against Edgeworth?
Yeah, I missed the game 2 weeks ago, but it seemed like the midfield was quite open, and Edgeworth were able to play quite simple through the midfield with their triangles. So he's gone more of a probably defensive route for that midfield. He wants to really close down the 3 in the centre, especially probably Reece Cooper, who's dangerous, playing in the number 10 for Hamilton Olympic. So I wouldn't be surprised if Griffith or Broadley actually squeeze on Cooper when he's free.
Did you just see the numbers there that just swarmed around Cale Bradbury? As soon as he received possession of the ball at the top of the box, he had 3 blue shirts around him immediately. You wonder if that could be a common trend. They know the danger he possesses. Didn't score in the opening round. James Virgili, Magic's only goal scorer in that 6-1 defeat.
Just looking at the setup here, you can probably vouch for this too, CT. Hamilton Olympics sitting right on their 18-yard box, allowing Broadmeadow to have the ball. So I don't know if they're going to play a bit of counter-attacking football here. That's the way they've sort of set up at the moment.
One thing different between this game and the game against Edgeworth is Broadmeadow have got early possession. They didn't have that last time. They're keeping the ball relatively well and content to keep a hold of it. So we see what may have been a foul.
Cale Bradbury dispossessed. Can Scott Pettit, the former Magic man, profit from it? Looks up and sees Horner. He also has the run of Reece Cooper, the run centrally. Instead he opts for Marcus Duncan, who whips in a dangerous ball. Piddington, who was in doubt for this match, was able to get it out of the 18-yard box for the moment. But Olympic still with the possession and the pressure at the moment. Duncan in the shadows of the grandstand. Hornery with the attempted half bicycle. It will roll to Jared Sutherland, who tracks it down just inside the byline. Deflected off Matt Hoole, and Magic are able to get it clear momentarily. Here's Pettit holding off Hoole, who got in there with a toe. Lucas.
Bit of space in the midfield here for Olympic.
Really opened up there for Jake McGuinness. Reece Cooper got away from Bradbury, and an early strike from Reece Cooper. That one not his best effort.
What you're talking about before, Smudge, the difference between this game for Broadmeadow against Edgeworth is that you're right. Hamilton is setting very deep, and already Magic are in the game and in their territory. That's been the case. That's been the big difference against Edgeworth. They just didn't get that opportunity all game. Be interesting to see whether that's part of Peter McGuinness' tactic, the head coach of Hamilton Olympic. Let them come and then counter-attack, as we saw when we were just talking about it. And that may be well a ploy of his. He's a very smart tactician, McGuinness. And definitely will have a plan against Broadmeadow today.
We've also got another match on this afternoon. Charlestown up against Lake Macquarie, and that one at 0-0 at the moment. While Hodges, who is yet to score still in 137 matches for Hamilton Olympic, make it 138. That is the record. As Tyler Warren just dwelling on possession a little here. And then he scuffs it over the sideline in the end under some serious heat there from Mitch Oxborough, as he invited some unwanted pressure here for Hamilton Olympic. We'll find out.
The other interesting move from Zakovic is putting Ryan Enzer at left fullback. I've only seen him sort of play in the middle of the park, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
It was David Ifield who started there in that loss to Edgeworth. He was brought off at half-time, a little bit of a reshuffle. And now Tyler Warren again just dwelling on possession. Marcus Duncan hoofs it clear into the midfield, straight to McGuinness, and now they have a chance to release through Jared Sutherland. And broadly ahead of him, took him on, and now finds some open space on this near side of the ground. Neat 1-2 with Scott Pettit. And now Josh Piddington puts himself between Sutherland and the goal, and then Cooper's shot is scuffed, and Bits will dive on it. Smudge, you groaned there. Josh Piddington knew he had the body weight to stop Sutherland in his tracks. Was it illegal?
Yeah. Oh, you know, a smart play. I haven't seen a replay, but a smart play by Piddington. He just stood his ground in his CT.
Yeah, he sure did. And Sutherland, we liked him when we first saw him a year or two ago, Smudge, and look how now a couple of years on, he's really developed and so elusive and running at players. That 1-2 with Pettit, Pettit's ball back into him, so dangerous for Broadmeadow. And
just on that, Piddington did well because he stood his ground, did not change his angle at all. If he changed his angle and sort of moved into Sutherland, that had to be a pen, but Piddington just stood still and he did well. That's why I sort of groaned a little bit.
And do you remember that goal Jared Sutherland scored in round 20 against Lambton Jaffers last year? He scored 2 goals, and that was probably, both of them were critical. That one was laid on in the match against Lambton. He picked up the ball on halfway and raced half the length of the field and slotted it past Brad Swancott. So he's some player, Jared Sutherland. Came through the Mariners youth system. Just Pappas now to Cooper, takes possession and tried to dink it inboard. Luke Vigili, an interesting clearance straight into the path of John Griffiths, who finds Oxborough quickly onto that left boot. He sees James Vigili, tried to release him quickly. He let it
Oxborough
run
knew
wide.
exactly where he was too.
And now Vigili, not sure what he was trying to do there in the end, and comes to naught.
Yep. Just going back on Magic here, Oxborough is just playing in this number 10 role. He's pushing a little bit high, and what's happening there, it's creating a 3v2 for Hamilton in the middle of the park. So Broadley and Griffith are sort of getting caught between 3 players there, and they're giving a bit of space for Olympic, and they're able to play the 1-2, especially when Sutherland and Scotty Pettit come inside and overlap the midfield, and they're creating quite a few little half chances, aren't they?
Yeah, they sure are, and that's where we've got to get the balance right, in both groups. You can't, for Oxborough, you can't get too far out of place. Some people call that, lazy, but it's smart in some ways because he's creating opportunities for both sides, in fact. He just needs to be able to get close enough where required, Smudge.
Yeah, agree.
And Scott Pettit, he scored 2 in his last 3 against Broadmeadow Magic, his former side where he was here such a long period of time, scored some big FFA Cup goals for them, but made the move to Olympic last season. And he scored 4 in his last 3 in the NPL. Double figures last year, so he's hoping for another big season this year. He's already got 1.
Yeah, I thought it was a good move for Pettit moving to Olympic last year. He's sort of in and out of the side the year before.
And Magic have so many attacking weapons, it was hard for him to break into the side. He was trying to back into Ensor there instead of going to the ball. I was a little surprised there. Scott Pettit as he went to ground. Brian Ensor with the long ball up to Brian Mora. They have copped a little bump on the head from Tom Stewart. And now Vigili is able to lob this one into the path of Marcus Duncan, who cleans up for Olympic.
And watching around, Charlestown 1, Late Macquarie 0. So Charlestown with an early goal.
They're really struggling in defence at the moment, aren't they, Late Macquarie? They leaked 5 in the opening round and now 1 already against Charlestown.
You predicted big things from Late Macquarie, CT?
Yeah, well, we did speak about
Well, I've predicted big things from Adamstown. They've gone 0-3, so...
Well, we did, all jokes aside, we spoke about the defence and getting that right. And hasn't been the best of starts for them this year, Smudge.
Well, who did you predict big things from? Broadmeadow Magic,
No, I actually said...
well, of course it was.
I actually said I thought Hamilton could really push for a top 2 spot. That's what I...
well,
Big Broadmeadow Magic, big improvers and big things.
as we say, Christian Brymora. Now, this was from... he was hitting the head, maybe by an elbow, or there was a head clash moments ago, and now he's been hit in the head by a water bottle.
Yeah, Tyler Warren just throwing the water ball over to the trainer, but miscued and went straight to Brymora's head, but he's recovered okay, I think.
He wouldn't have meant to hit Brymora, Tyler, because he wouldn't have been able to do it if he wanted to.
Well, Tyler Warren is so coordinated. I think I remember last year against Lambton, didn't he trip over the goal? Match against Lambton last year? Just tripped over the goal.
That's one bizarre that you said he's so coordinated, Bart. I remember that.
I think it was tongue-in-cheek, Smudge, and yeah, we loved he was, Tyler.
He's a good bloke. Anyway, Ryan Enser with the throw for Broadmeadow Magic, and Christian Brymora is back out there, so they've got the full complement of 11. Enzo was at Wollongong Wolves last season, a former club of his coach, Ruben Zadkovic, and also Paul Bitts. And John Majerowski as well. A few former Wolves in this Magic lineup. Oxborough into the calf of Ensor. May fall for him. It did in the end. John Griffiths in his first appearance in Magic colours since the semi-final against Magic here last season. Missed the grand final after he was red carded in that match, and then round 1 against Edgeworth. A huge loss for Broadmeadow. He's just such a consistent performer.
And he's flexible as well. He can play at the centre of the back, can play right back, can play left back, can play in the centre of the park like he is today. He's such a quality player. Came through the Jets youth system. Was captain of the Jets quite a few years ago. Jets youth, sorry.
Yep, well, I'd say probably one of the most underrated players in the competition. Would you say, Smudge?
I think he's rated, CT. I think a lot of people highly respect Johnny Griff.
This one nudged over the top.
But yeah, he doesn't get too many
plaudits here, and it's probably something that happens a lot for players in defensive positions. It's the attacking players who get a lot of the plaudits, and players like the John Griffiths and the Josh Evans go a little unnoticed.
Well, that's true, but I can guarantee that Broadmeadow will welcome him back, because
as Oxborough just clips Sutherland from behind, and he's a little frustrated as the ball was given away.
he's a big anchor into their side, Smudge, and I was just saying earlier, the combination between him and Broadley go a long way to setting Broadmeadow up in attack. The people you're talking about, but get the things done at the top end, get them in position more often, get the opportunities on goal.
And you know what, that worked for Magic last year, them two anchor in the midfield, and it worked really well last year, and I think Ruben's gone back to that for this game, especially being the local cross-town rival.
Brian Moore used his strength well just to hold off Duncan. But it's going to pinball back for Hamilton Olympic, and there's John Griffiths just using his body well to win the ball from the grasps of Reece Cooper. And here's Piddington taking on Hornery. It did come off late against Edgeworth, and that's where they leaked half of their goals in that match. Jed Hornery now with a 1-2. Played with Reece Cooper. Pettit.
Interesting.
Tracks it down in a one-on-one with Ensor across goal, and Luke Vigili. Terrific work, read it well. Such an experienced player is he. And Jared Sutherland did seem to be onside there, and then he just stumbled and couldn't regain his footing. I was just going to go through the head-to-heads between these two sides. Since they started playing in 95, they've played 60 times. Olympic 26 wins, Magic 24. Not much between them at all.
Nor the ownership of Alexander the Great, but
if you have just joined us, and you haven't left us. Well, I'm thankful. As Oxborough, you tried to find Broadmeadow.
That's where Oxford can be very dangerous in that number 10, just trying to find them pockets. ACT is able to turn.
And now Broadmeadow threads in Vigili, looking for a second in 2 matches, and he does win his side a corner. Wasn't that a special goal that he scored against Edgeworth to equalise? He's looking in decent form this season, James Vigili.
What are you talking about with Oxford? His awareness of where the players are behind him everywhere, the attackers and defenders. He's just got that level of vision in him, and it's dangerous for Olympic.
Oxborough curling it in with the breeze as well, and Piddington was at the back post rising. He may have got a touch on that. In the end, it's gone harmlessly wide for Hamilton Olympic, but it wasn't far away.
Yeah, if they can release Oxborough in more of a just a role where he can float about and get a bit of space, he can be very dangerous slotting those balls through. However, he still has to work on his defensive duties, and that's where Olympic in the midfield are getting that 3v2 overload and causing a few problems for Broadmeadow.
But on the other side, you mentioned Brian Moore, and in any sort of hole, he'll put him there and then away. So interesting to see that one unfold over the next hour and 15 or so.
Piddington angles the pass to James Vigili. On the outside of Cody Lucas, he takes him on, and the Hamilton defender is able to nudge it over the byline. Just those other results from this weekend. Western 2-1 over Maitland last night. That one an upset, you'd call. Edgeworth 2-2 with the Jets Youth, and Lambton 4-1 over Adamstown. They've had a tough start to the season. So Oxborough curls it in again with the breeze. That's southeaster coming in at about 15 kilometres an hour, so that's perfectly behind that corner for Mitch Oxborough. It's going to be dangerous.
So guys, just up at Charlestown, they've scored a second to lead Lake Macquarie 2-0.
And I know I was talking about Adamstown's disappointing start to the season. Well, there is a glimmer, maybe a slight glimmer. Lake Macquarie are now last, based on for and against, with that second goal going in at Lyle Carr Oval.
And again, Oxborough, the quick turnaround, looking for James Vigili, first time ball, in the space in beyond there. He's looking for that all the time. It happened a few years ago when he first came in. He played about 6-7 games. And I can't remember how many times we called Oxborough Vigili goal. I think it's about 6 times.
What we were talking about before, Smudge, is just his ability to know where they are exactly, and just in motion, he just picks him straight out. Time and time again, and that's why I'm interested in this combination with Brian Moore this afternoon, because his pace and his athleticism going to cause Olympic all sorts of trouble as they go on.
And one thing that really surprised me, Smudge, was last year Mitch Oxborough scored 2 goals in the NPL. I thought he may have scored more. I was a little surprised by that, but it's the amount he sets up for those front men in Bradbury and Vigili, Majerowski as well, and now he'll be looking to link up with Christian Brian Moore. Luke Vigili on the bounce to his brother, who does have the run of Matt Hoole, just stopped in his tracks. Plays the 1-2 with Vigili, who gets it onto his left boot, a little deflection, and Tyler Warren should reel this one in. Very tight with the edge of his 18-yard box there, but he found Scott Pettit with the throw. Pappas and Pettit.
We've got a few viewers watching us on Facebook, CT, and Steve Green says hello, CT.
Hello, Greenie. Great mate of mine. We played all our juniors together, Steve and I. Great footballer.
Sutherland.
Lots of great things.
Had Matt Hoole going backwards there for a moment. Sorry, CT.
And around the New Lambton Football Club. And great to have him on board, Smudge.
The Eagles. Gotta love the New Lambton Eagles.
Not far from your house, Bart.
Well, they're my side, the Eagles. We've all got to have a side, don't we? They're not in the NPL, so don't worry about any bias.
No matter what format you're watching us on, it's good to have you with us this afternoon.
There's Luke Vigili. Whacks his boot through this one, and it's going to skew up into the path of Tom Stewart. Hasn't played too many matches in the first grade side for Hamilton Olympic. This is 11th for the 18-year-old. Played a big part in Hamilton's under-20s premiership winning side a couple of years ago, and then the championship winning side last year when they beat Maitland in the grand final. As Tyler Warren again, his distribution letting him down. Was he aiming for the ball, kid, with the wide-brimmed hat on, the straw hat?
That's why I was confident he didn't mean to hit Brian Morey in the head with a water bottle.
That's James Virgili in a tight spot there. And Sutherland again.
Boys just up at Charlestown again. There's another goal to Lake Macquarie this time, 2-1.
You know, whenever Lake Macquarie's playing, there's going to be plenty of goals. They can score them, but they can let them in as well. So that one could be an interesting contest. But make sure you keep watching this one. Or maybe just get 2 screens set up. Watch them both, because this has been a fascinating duel thus far. Last time these two sides met, round 21 last year, where Hamilton were surging late to try and make the finals, and they won 3-0. And I mentioned pre-match that Hamilton haven't lost a regular season match at Magic Park since 2012.
Jesse, I wouldn't mind seeing Brian Morey just hanging high right at that number 9. I wouldn't mind seeing him interchange with Bradbury or Virgili, just move their defence around a little bit. Just a bit stagnant up in that top. Here he comes off, drops off the ball.
Cool to Brian Mora. Couldn't keep his strike down, but that's what he can do. Scored 10 goals in 19 matches in the Swedish second division for Hasselholms. Yet to open his account this season, but that's probably as close as he's come.
Just as you're talking about him there, Smudge, he's just created enough room for himself to get a swing on it. Had that have been on target, it's going to cause Tyler Warren a whole lot of trouble. But that's the ability he's got, isn't it? Yeah,
and that's what I was meaning. I just wanted him to move a little bit to create a bit of space, and that's what he did. And he, peeled off the back 4, off the 2 stoppers, gave a bit of space, able to turn, and nice strike.
John Griffiths, strong in the air.
Johnny, go right! That's it! Luke, come here! Justin, drop your right shoulder! Johnny, right!
Marcus Duncan taking his time with the throw. And now Scott Pettit tried to angle the pass to Hornery. Now Oxborough. Justin Broadley. He did get there first, but the toe off. Cody Lucas rolled back to his goalkeeper. Now Virgili. Again, looking for his brother, and it was a well-placed ball just over the head of Cody Lucas. And now James Virgili, a chance to run at defenders, and he's clipped. James Cleal says not enough contact to warrant a free kick. Sutherland rates the pass around to Reece Cooper. Here's a free kick going Broadmeadow's way.
And Smudge, I'm just finding out that Johnny Griff just got engaged this week. Is that right?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure. I've just seen the text then to Steph Sneesby. It could be massive congratulations.
Well, interestingly enough, Mick Sneesby is a local footballing identity tied up heavily with Hamilton Zuri. It's his sister, and anyone's brave enough to marry into that family.
There's Oxborough whipping it in again.
We were talking about John Griffith's talents before.
Just hang on a sec, CT. Here's a break. Well, there was going to be a break, but he's pulled it back for the yellow card for Mitch Oxborough.
And again, the transition of Olympicus nice and quick. Magic just need to be a little bit careful there.
His second of the season. And was it the right decision to bring it back?
I probably will let it go for about another 5-10 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the same. Could have
drinks break.
left it go a little bit further. Just going back to John Griffiths, Smudge, we were talking about his talents on the park, but obviously he's got some more talents, and one of them's courage to marry into the Sneesby family.
Yeah, definitely. And he's a great fella, Johnny Griff, and congratulations on both.
Yeah, and all jokes aside, the Sneesby family, fantastic for local community. And Mick and his partner Kira involved in the Arnett's program as volunteers, and so we see them regularly through the soccer seasons, and you both do a great job, and everyone appreciates what you do there, as the other volunteers. Mark and Mel Midson running that program out. So it's going strong, Smudge, with a new location at New Lantern as we go.
Just don't know if you see on screen, Anthony Richards, one of the assistant coaches at Broadmeadow Magic, was his 50th last night, CT. I know you were there.
Yeah, it's as were you, and it's actually his 50th birthday today, Smudge.
There he is. You can see him just at the top left corner of your screen, walking towards the referees. He loves having a chat.
See how he's trying to actually crawl to the referees. He's actually giving them water, so yeah, I think he needs a bit of water today, because we sort of left him a bit early, and he was sort of definitely smiling, wasn't he, CT?
Oh, he was smiling. That's probably why the sunnies are on today. There's no doubt about that. And good luck to him at 50.
Raising the bat.
his wife Janine Smudge was telling me last night that his children are accusing him of trying to dress like Ruben. Any thoughts on that?
Ruben's quite a trendy dresser.
Yeah, I think that was the reference, that he's not, but anyway, thoughts?
I don't think it was very trendy what he was wearing, so yeah, I think Ruben is quite a trendy dresser, and I don't think he was following Ruben last night, to be honest, CT. As we see that ball trickle over the byline.
Hey boys, just in the opening 25 minutes, been a game of chess, hasn't it? Been very tight, both sides playing very similar sort of formations and sort of patterns of play as well, so they're sort of cancelling each other out. Would you say, Bart?
I was going to say the classic chess match, this one. The derby between Broadmeadow Magic and Hamilton Olympic. Round 3 of the NPL Northern New South Wales, but just 2 matches in to the season for both of these two sides, with the washout last weekend. Magic were due to play Lake Macquarie and Olympic against Lambton. Olympic will play Lambton on Wednesday night, and Magic will play Lake Macquarie in a month and a bit's time during that wet weather catch-up round. As here's another free kick going the way of Hamilton Olympic. Matt Houle trying to stop it being played quickly.
It's good to see we've got viewers up the North Coast, Bar. We've got Robin Williams from Foster up the North Coast. It's great to have you on board.
Terrific to be able to go around the country and also the world as well. Getting us on YouTube is Cale Bradbury. Brought it down neatly. And now Houle.
Been another goal at Charlestown, guys.
Here's Piddington. Take your guess. Who is it this time?
There's been another goal at Charlestown.
You better just ask who it was, mate.
Charlestown 3, Lake Macquarie 1. The scorers haven't come through yet.
There's Ensor. And now Broadley. Jumps over a couple. And now Broadley off the outside of his boot to Oxborough, who distributes to Matt Houle. Can he free up his left boot? He tried to play the ball between the lines, but straight into the path of McGuinness, and here's Reece Cooper. Now chipping over the top for Scott Pettit. Jed Hornery is unmarked at the back post if he can find him. He opts instead to about face and find Marcus Duncan, back at Hamilton Olympic this season. Played a 1-2 with McGuinness, and Ryan Ensor with some good defensive work there.
There's been a correction up at Charlestown. It's actually 2-1, so it must have been a disallowed goal. Still 2-1, Charlestown.
Here's Pettit.
I think I'm finding with Hamilton, they can play their 1-2s quite simply around the Magic defenders. They're not really tracking their runners, are they, CT? There's a few little holes there.
Had the second best defence, Broadmeadow, through 22 rounds last season, through that regular season, and that one may have winded Reece Cooper straight into him, and the Magic fans are cracking up down below. No sympathy for Hamilton's number 10. Tom Stewart under some pressure from Brian Mora. And then McGuinness in a tangle with Bradbury. He's going to win the free kick. Magic coming into this match having won 3 of the last 4 matches between the sides. Olympic the most recent, but they won some big matches last year. Round 10 they won 4-2, and also that FFA Cup match where John Majerowski, who's on the bench this afternoon, won the passage through to the round of 32 with a header late. It was a terrific bending ball in from Matt Houle that Majerowski nodded in. He does stand tall in big matches, and he'll have a big role to play off the bench. And this man, Paul Bitts, he had a great season last year, goalkeeper of the year. First Magic man to win the award since 2012. Who won it, Smudge?
Chris Bowling.
Correct. Now the Newcastle Jets goalkeeping coach. Hornery nudges it up to Pettit, and Hornery gets in front of Ensor. And now Luke Vigili coming across to help out. Free kick goes the home side's way.
Just on Horner, he was in and out last year with a lot of injuries, wasn't he, Bart? We watched him a few times, and when he did play, he looked very strong on the ball. Great angle runs.
4 goals in his first 7 matches for Hamilton Olympic.
I love his angle runs in and around the box. He's very dangerous. Uses his body really well. Looks like he's got his knees strapped up quite heavily there, so... I know Pete McGuinness has got, I think it's big things of him.
You know, I think he was just in a rush to get back from injury, and that hurt him a couple of times with that hamstring. It's a very delicate injury, especially for a man that's only 20 years of age. Jared Sutherland, no advantage there, spotted by James Cleland. He's going to bring it back.
I like that. He allowed play to go on for about 10 seconds. He noticed Sutherland had the double team, Magic had double teamed Sutherland, and may or may not got past him, but I thought that was good refereeing.
Yep. Back that up, yeah, I did as well. There wasn't much going on for Sutherland. He had red shirts all around him. And now Scott Pettit with this opportunity. Now, I remember a free kick he scored for Broadmeadow Magic back in 2017 against Edgeworth. It was a little closer than this, but it was absolutely pinpoint perfect into the top corner. Can he deliver here against Broadmeadow? Wouldn't he love it? Score at Magic Park against his old fans, and he looks to dink it in the end, and maybe in 2 minds there.
I think if he had his choice again, you had Jared Sutherland wide on the left-hand side. If he went to pretend to cross the ball, play it into him, he would have had about acres of space going straight in on goal.
And the ability to cut something back, but he looked like he was trying to pick out Duncan and where he was, certainly where he placed it. In the end, non-event.
Bits onto Broadley, attempted the back heel flick. Reese Cooper. Now Pettit, almost nutmegged Brian Ensor. Wins his side the foul. And Luke Vigili again with the early ball, searching for his brother. It was swirling a little bit, but Tyler Warren comfortably under it. 4 clean sheets last season for Tyler Warren. And now Reese Cooper skews off the side of his boot. A little frustrated.
Here's another play. If you get to those pockets, ACT just in front of the back 4, and he's facing forward, running at players, he's very dangerous. We've seen him score a goal last year from halfway. Who was that against?
No, he scored earlier this season in a trial match down in Sydney.
Oh, Marconi.
Yes, against Marconi.
But
that one went around the country.
But remember, he scored a goal last year at Hamilton towards the end of the season. He actually beat about 5 players from halfway, facing forward.
Yes.
I think was it Valentine, or I can't remember exactly.
Julie flicks it up to Oxborough, and there's Kyle Hodges again. Very malleable. Able to just quickly shift and get that left boot out. Ensor. Oh, that was a crunching blow between Ensor and Horner, and he's going to bring it back for the free kick, James Clale. You heard that one through the effects mic.
Just back to Cooper, one of the things that I really like about his game, this attribute where he's able to run at speed at players, we get all of that, but his calmness to make decisions at speed, Smudge, is what I really like about him. So awareness of where other players are whilst he's travelling high speed. A lot of players will just concentrate on the ball, their speed and keeping it in control, but not this guy. He's just got that ability to see and understand where other people are and make choices at the right time. Very threatening.
Is that what you're like in the car, CT?
In the where?
In the car when you're at high speed. Got good awareness. It's a fair question.
We seen him on the simulator last year at Westpac Helicopter. It was woeful.
Oh, here we go.
It's a 1-2 with Oxborough and Hoole. Broadley.
Space.
Swings it out to Cale Bradbury. He has Brymora in the middle. He decides to take on Duncan. And here's a corner for the Magic man. Pete McGuinness is out of his technical area, barking out instructions to his troops. You don't see that too often. He's gone back to sit down again.
I think when the ball went out to Bradbury, Duncan was just one-on-one. You don't want, if you're playing against Bradbury, you don't be one-on-one. You need 2v1. You need some backup there in case he gets past that first defender.
And you don't want that first defender thinking he's the last man. You stick out a boot and to the spot they'll go. So Matt Hoole into that breeze. Diving header from Brymora. And Hornery and Piddington. Now the strike from Bradbury cleared from the edge of the 6-yard box by Jake McInnes. And now Pettit gets goal side of Ryan Ensor and now wins the free kick. That was really good body positioning from Scott Pettit, and Justin Broadley may have come off a little worse for wear there.
Yeah, I think either the back of Pettit's head or so he's got one in the nose.
Even on a warm day, it's Ryan Ensor, sorry. Even on a warm day, that doesn't tickle. So Reece Pappas, who scored in his last match at Magic Park. And now Reece Pappas just holding off James Virgili there with the left arm. And now round to John Griffiths, who brought him down illegally. Out comes another yellow card, the second of the match.
Still like to see Magic put more pressure on the ball in midfield. They just, Olympics got a bit more space there, haven't they, CT? They're playing the 1-2s around quite easily.
They have, and they don't want to let Cooper start running at their goals because he's getting a little bit of extra space, and that's the danger they've got.
So again, it's Scott Pettit, not on his preferred side. Reece Pappas as well, standing over it.
Yeah, Pappas can hit a dead ball really well as well.
He can, and it won't be surprised if we see him go from this angle and a good distance out.
He can score a really good free kick against Valentine, I remember, early in the season last year. So it is Pappas who takes it. And, well, he got the pitching wedge out there in the end.
Looked like he was going to get a bit more purchase on that one, and he tried to really whip it, but it just didn't come off. And as you say, Bart, pitching wedge was the result.
To be honest, it was like watching Cito hit a golf ball, only going the other way.
Except I'd be hitting a driver smudge when you'd be taking a 6-iron, and you work the rest out from there.
Nice header.
Tyler Warren, he's conceded just one goal in his last 4 matches.
Speaking of Tyler, we've got one of his good mates, Tom Shelley, watching.
Oh, well, here's a well. I'm really surprised that James Cleal hasn't awarded the free kick, because Jed Hornery was. I don't think you could say that Josh Piddington was the last man, but surely there was a shout there for a free kick to Hamilton Olympic.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a free kick.
I thought
he wasn't last man, but it was definitely a free kick. He didn't hold him back.
And a yellow card, I would think as well. I assume he just hadn't seen it. He may have been blindsided, had a player in front of him.
Well, yours wasn't that, CT?
Yeah, look, I thought it was a free kick and possibly a yellow card, and I'm not sure that he was blindsided. He's just made that choice. Big decision, giving Josh Piddington a yellow card as well.
Ball.
Well, he's given 2 yellow cards already to Magic players, so that would have been bigger. A third as Cale Bradbury. It was in front of the Magic faithful, and they were quiet, as you would expect.
Here they go again, transitioning again. They set it up really well, don't they, Olympic?
They have. You look at Oxborough, Broadly, out of position. Griffiths coming into play.
Pettit stretching the legs and bending. Hornery. Well, he's had an air swing. Maybe he's just lacking a little bit of confidence. I mentioned he hasn't scored in his last 3. A new season. He didn't play in round 1, so this is his first match of the year. As shoulder to shoulder, Cody Lucas put too much into that on James Virgili, who's saying, shouldn't that be a card? And should it be a card?
Just back to Hornery. He may not have seen that one either very clearly, because there were bodies in the box and he took a swing, but it seemed to me there was a second or two where he could have composed himself. Air swing, he'll be thinking about that one when he goes to sleep tonight.
But as you know, as a striker, you have to expect the ball to come to you. You can't just
100%.
Yeah.
And he may have changed to a side foot rather than an instep strike if he had his time again.
And that transition from Olympic again gets Magic napping a little bit. And great ball by Scott Pettit to Hornery.
I just wonder if he had too much time. It seemed like he just had an age as the ball dribbled across the face of goal. So here's Oxborough from the free kick. Brymora, and a good save from Tyler Warren. And then Really well done by Jed Hornery, it was, who was able to do some defensive work and save the day. They've missed one at the other end, but on that occasion he stopped a chance for Broadmeadow Magic. Jed Hornery, great save from Tyler Warren, and an important header as well for Christian Brymora, getting up and winning it in the air.
It's a wonderful shot stopper, Tyler Warren, and knows his bread and butter.
And Hoole's corner is knocked out of the box by Olympic.
Just mention quickly, boys, his mate Tom Shelley's watching us. They're good buddies, so they'll be enjoying that. And Shelley will be enjoying watching those sorts of saves come out all afternoon as required.
Spent some time at Lake Macquarie, did Tyler Warren under Chris Turner and West Wallsend as well, before moving to Olympic in 2017. Wasn't the first choice keeper that year, but first choice last year. He did some first choice keeping that year with Danny Ireland unwell.
Just on that was a beautiful ball again by Oxford. I'd like to see James Vigili on the touchline so he doesn't have to back up to get the ball. He's on the touchline, he can come forward and pick up the ball, and that's where he slipped.
Sutherland took on
exactly
Hoole.
Right, Smudge.
Great tackle from Matt Hoole.
And it's a bit like cricket, isn't it? You know, you start on the boundary as a fielder and you move your way in, and you know that. But you're a cricketer. It's the same thing, Smudge, and what you're saying makes a lot of sense and stretches your defender out a little bit to make some choice.
That's right, and it just gives a bit more room for Oxborough to actually knock that ball, because he's delivered some beautiful balls out to both Bradbury and Vigili.
It's a great analogy, CT. I'm not joking, it is. It's a very good analogy. As Josh Piddington, Hoole, and now Broadley. So ticking towards half-time, inside the last couple of minutes before the sides head to the sheds, and it's deadlocked at the moment, and Cale Bradbury pulled down his opposite number, and out comes Magic's third yellow card of this opening half, and Bradbury's second of the season as well. Remember 5 and you get that automatic 1-game suspension.
Yeah, another big shout out to Michael Perisic, a mad Magic supporter up there in Brisbane, and you know Michael.
I do, and great to have him on board, Pero. Generally sits up there with his Magic gear on, dressed draped around the TV, Smudge. Just loving it. He'll be kicking home his Broadmeadow Magic side this afternoon. Winding them into half-time, looking for a right result before we get there.
So what are your thoughts on the first half, CT? Would the coaches both be happy?
No, I don't think so.
Now Reece Cooper bounces into the arms of Paul Bitts.
I think they'll be happy for different parts of the game. As you've correctly pointed out, too much room in the middle of the park for Olympic. And Magic need to fix that up. For Magic in a positive sense, they haven't been necessarily wanting to sit in like they've been forced to do against Edgeworth. That's a positive. But they haven't overly threatened. A couple of shots, but nothing getting past Tyler Warren.
Oxborough on the swivel. His ball to Bradbury, cut out by Jake McGuinness. He's done a lot of busy work in that midfield. Piddington came through to win the header. In the end, no harm done. Now Ensor.
So it is hot conditions, so obviously the players are probably trying to conserve a bit of energy as well. So I think McGuinness will be fairly happy with his the way he's lined up. They're playing a little bit deep, playing a little bit more countering attacking football. When they got the football, they look really good. Good triangles in the midfield. They're getting the overload in the midfield, and they've created a few good opportunities.
And you know what, Duncan's been in the game as well, and some of his crosses have been high quality. So that's dangerous. Pettis been in and busy around it, and same with Hornery as well. So, you know, look, there's plenty to like about what Olympic are doing. You're right, Smudge, is sitting in their counter-attacking, and that's got to be something that Broadmeadow needs to consider, how they stop that from happening. At the moment, Broadmeadow in their half, transitioning into the top third with possession, and that's probably a plan of Peter McGuinness. Let him come and we'll take it.
It's
get you on the go.
To Bradbury. Almost spied a gap there in the Olympic back line.
This is what they want, one-on-one.
Well, here he is, James Vigili takes on Cody Lucas, cuts it back, and Marcus Duncan cool as you like, clears it away. Both sides with some half chances in this first half, but you'd probably say it's been dead even.
I think it's been even.
Yeah, for sure. And Smudge, you know, when you're playing against a side like Olympic, they're sitting in, they're deep, they've got numbers, they're organised. It's hard to break down.
That's where you need to rotate these midfielders. Even your wide players come in, someone else go wide. You need to keep the players moving.
Here's Bradbury again. Now onto the right, and Tom Stewart got the boot out. And Jed Hornery was just dispossessed from behind by Luke Vigili.
Yeah, as well defended by Vigili.
Here's Ensor. Ryan Ensor gets it onto the right boot, rolls it into the path of Broadley. And now Oxborough was afforded a little bit of space there. I thought for a moment he was going to shoot. That ball overhit by the Magic midfielder.
And that's where I think Ruben needs to get him in half-time and just get the Brian Moore in the front three rotating a little bit when Olympic are sitting deep, because it's very stagnant. It's hard to get through. As you see, it's so crampy. So you need to move their midfielders around a little bit. And again, Olympic just staying nice and deep, just outside the 18-yard box. There's not much room to get through there.
Only seconds remaining in this first half. We're in stoppage time. Broadmeadow Magic and Hamilton Olympic in round 3 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Hamilton 5th coming into this match. Magic 10th, based on their only result so far this season. As Jared Sutherland again took on Oxborough and got away from Hoole. And is there a last chance here for Hamilton before they head to the sheds? Well, there was space out here to the right, and Scott Pettit looks pretty frustrated that Jared Sutherland didn't find him.
And again, their transition's good. They just that lack of that final third play.
Here's some space again for Scott Pettit. Magic have got the players back. You'd sense to extinguish this, and Luke Vigili dives in, wins the ball, and that will be that for the opening 45 minutes at Magic Park. It's been so even between these two derby rivals. Magic and Olympic with chances at both ends, some half chances. Really has been a tight tussle, and a fascinating final 45 minutes awaits us. Half-time at Magic Park. Broadmeadow Magic 0, Hamilton Olympic 0. Boys, I'm looking forward to this second 45. It might be 0-0, but it's just been a really interesting contest between these two.
Yeah, I think it's going to heat up in the second half. It's a very hot first half. Obviously, we had a drinks break. A lot of the boys, look at the sweat coming off them at the moment, walking off the park. They look a bit dejected already, but very even. I'd like to see a bit more movement in midfield and the front three for Magic, just to rotate the Olympics defence and midfielders around, because they're at the moment just stagnant in their spots and just creating, cramping the Magic when they're going forward. So haven't been able to get too many chances.
The other thing with the heat in play, what Olympic have done is, because they've been sitting so well and organised in defence, it conserves some energy. So expect to see a little bit more from them in the back end of the game, just because they've conserved some. It'll be interesting to see whether Peter McGuinness changes anything here, that sit and attack type style versus what Ruben needs to come up with, and how he's going to stretch them and bring them out so they can get them in and get their midfielders into the game, get more control of that middle of the park, as you've pointed out, Smudge. Interesting second half to come. Yeah,
me personally, I don't think people change too much at the moment. Maybe the last 20 minutes, depending on the scoreline. I think you'll just sit in like they've been doing. It's working well for them. But I think Ruben might look at maybe bringing Johnny Madge on, I reckon, after about the 60th minute mark.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see. We'll take a quick break, boys. We'll be back in about 10 for the second 45 minutes. It's all locked up here at Magic Park. Magic 0, Olympic 0. Welcome back to Magic Park, round 3 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Broadmeadow Magic at home against Hamilton Olympic. It's been a really tight first half. Not much between the two sides. And the deadlock unable to be broken thus far. We'll see if it can be broken in the second 45. What's going on? We're missing a football. And I'm missing my glasses, so I'm going to go get them.
Well, Bart's getting his glasses, Smudge. We're just about to get back underway. We think Ruben Zadkovic has said to his players at half-time.
Well, we'll come back to that. Smudge is just...
He's all over the shop.
It's like
he's all over the shop.
He's overseas, or as we're back underway, round 3 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. The final 45 underway in this derby. Luke Vigili picks out his brother again. Can you see a way through for either of these two sides, boys?
I think so. I think I reckon with the way the wind is, Olympic's going to have the win the second half. I think McGuinness won't sit back as much, even though it was quite effective in the first half. I think he'll push forward a bit more. However, the way they were playing, transitioning quite well, was working for him. For Magic, I'd like to see a bit more ball movement, a bit more movement in the midfield, just to change it up a little bit, because the way Olympic is just sitting back, it's a good ball for Ryan Enzo.
And Marcus Duncan just a little further infield. Tom Stewart, his clearance is scuffed way off the side of his boot.
And again, Olympics got 9 players in the box there. They sit back. There's nowhere to go through. I think Magic need to transition quicker, play the ball a little bit quicker, get it to the front man a little bit quicker, so they can create these 2v1s, 1v1s. Otherwise, the slower the build up, Olympics able to sit back and clog the centre.
And they look very organised when they're defending as well. There's very clear lines. They know who their marker is, and they just seem to be able to shuffle people well.
So Matt Hoole, low and hard, and Broadmeadow was there again. Not getting it on target though. The young striker, Christian Broadmeadow, 20 years of age. And just on Hamilton Olympic, they haven't won back-to-back matches to start a season since 2006. So it's big for them if they can get 3 points this afternoon. Tyler Warren picks out Justin Broadley. Now Tom Stewart. And here's Scott Pettit. Spies the run of Jed Hornery, who is in on goal for a moment, but Luke Vigili just shifted him wide, and then it breaks down with the ball falling for Ryan Ensor. Now Tom Stewart again, he's got himself into a little bit of a pickle there. Kyle Hodges flies through the air, and the free kick, well this looks awful for Kyle Hodges.
It does.
He went down very awkward on his right leg there.
He's trying to get up.
Hopefully he's just jarred it.
And Christian Broadmeadow looks to be okay, and he's gone into the book for a yellow card. And Hodges is quite limp at the moment. Just trying to have a look. Yeah, it was that leg. If you have a look, if you just scroll back your stream, you'll be able to have a closer look at that. But he fell quite awkwardly on that leg as he went to ground. And he does seem to be able to run it off. I thought it was real bad. I was thinking as he was reeling away that he may have broken something, but he looks to be all right.
And for those of you that are not tech savvy and you're watching Facebook, tap the screen. There's a minus 10 seconds, but it hit twice.
Well, Christian Broadmeadow is coming from the field as well here. He's here to receive treatment, and that forces him off the field if it's not a free kick. Or a yellow card offence, I should say.
There's been another goal at Charlestown. Charlestown 3, Lake Macquarie 1. If I can get those goal scorers for you, I'll try.
Duncan with the throw into Scott Pettit, who dinks it towards Hornery. It sat at the top of the box for Pettit. Appeals for handball by the Magic players.
Ooh.
Tom Stewart back to his keeper, Tyler Warren, who, if he keeps a clean sheet this afternoon, will have conceded just 1 goal in 5 matches, his last 5 in the NPL.
McGuinness going nowhere there. Went into a brick wall in Magic's defence. Has to be careful he doesn't have too many touches.
McGuinness shifts the ball inboard to Pappas, who distributes to Scott Pettit. Little swivel. Now Marcus Duncan. Did look to go long. In the end decided against it. There is it. Lamp to Jaffers last year. Hamilton back in 2017 and also spent some time in Victoria, did Marcus Duncan. Reece Cooper stabs it between the lines and Ryan Ensel is able to sweep it over the sideline.
Well played by Olympia. I like the way Reece Cooper came, peeled off his back four, gets the ball. The ball just wasn't, his pass into Pettit just wasn't firm enough, was a CT. If that was firm enough, would have been a very interesting duel between Enzo and Pettit.
So Duncan with the throw. Hornery snaps at the shot and Piddington is able to hook it out. So Olympic with some dangerous moments early on in this second half, and with the breeze behind them, it's a southeasterly this afternoon at about 15 kilometres an hour, so it's a cooling breeze because it's about 29 degrees. We've got drinks breaks in play as well.
Oh.
And what has gone on there? Pettit and Sutherland both not on the same wavelength, and now Cale Bradbury is trying to take advantage of that. Brian Mora got himself into a little bit of a pickle but worked his way out of it. Poole tried to change the point of the Magic attack and it's broken down for the home side. Jed Horner, he was going to chase after it instead he let Jared Sutherland. And Sutherland drops it back to Cody Lucas, who from distance, and Paul Bitts may have only sighted that late because Luke Vigili was in between himself and the strike on goal. Cody Lucas has had some decent strikes from distance in his time in the NPL. I remember a strike against Western a couple of years back. Fizzed into the top corner, was a goal of the year contender. He can strike a football nicely, Cody Lucas, as can that man Oxborough, who releases John Griffiths. And now Cale Bradbury on that left boot wins his side a corner. And Olympics defence. Now I shouldn't say this now, should I? Because I could put on the commentator's curse, but it was so leaky last season. The worst of any side that finished in those top 6. They conceded 31 goals, and this year they've been pretty watertight.
And that was 10 more goals than the side who came fourth as well, which is quite a large number. And a lot of those goals were in the first, opening 6-7 games.
Yeah, their worst start was close to the worst start in their history last year, Hamilton Olympic. And Jake McGuinness in the number 8, worn by Jacob Bailey for many years. He's now moved to Valentine. Got the bye this week of the Phoenix. McGuinness in the shadows of this Magic Park grandstand. Well, Josh Piddington came across and flattens him. And he's got a smile on his face, Josh Piddington. And you sense there's more to come between those two, Jake McGuinness and Josh Piddington.
Piddington only had his eye on one thing, wasn't it, CT? What was that?
Paddle pop after the game?
I'm not thinking that.
No, the intention was clear. Let's make it no doubt about that. And he's just sent a clear message to Pappas that you want to play, I'll play with you.
McGuinness.
Sorry, McGuinness.
And that's the 5th yellow card of the match, all 5 going the way of Broadmeadow Magic. So 5 of their 11 on yellow cards.
Look, much as I don't condone any sort of violence in the park, this game could use a bit of a spice up at the moment.
Agreed. Between
these two clubs, they've been traditional big rivals for a long, long time, and these games are big ones. This one is kind of underperformed at the moment, and I'm expecting Smudge, the last 40 minutes, to be a bit better or a bit more paced than what it has been. It's been a bit cat and mouse in the first half. Now's the time to step it up for both teams.
Well, I think you'll remember that 4-2 match in round 10 last year at Darling Street. There was a bit of spice in that one because Magic scored a goal when Kyle Hodges was looking after Dino Fajkovic, who was on the ground.
I must say, I was talking to a few of the supporters down below at half-time and some ex-coaches, and they're saying there isn't much spice in this game. Normally, this is a local derby. Normally, there is spice, and Pennington's hopefully going to roughen it up a little bit between the sides, because it sort of doesn't mean any big solid challenges. It's sort of, like we said before, it's like a game of chess.
Well, he's a man that's been through that period, a long period of the rivalry between these clubs. He knows, and he's just knowing that his side could use a bit of a rev up, and he's just given it one.
So Vigili to Oxborough.
At the expense of McGuinness.
And he's fired up as well, Jake McGuinness. He's got to be careful as well. Just make sure he keeps his head as Cal Bradbury onto the right. Decides against shooting, and in the end, probably a disappointing decision. And Oxborough lashes that one over the bar.
Yeah, I think if Bradbury had his chance again, that's what he does best. He gets the ball, he cuts inside on that right boot from the left-hand side, and has a shot. We've seen many a goal scored that way, but he decided not to take the strike.
It's a match, as you mentioned, that really just needs a goal just to throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Change things up a little bit, make one side have to go after it. At this point, both sides just keen.
Funny you said that. It's like both sides are playing not to lose at the moment. They're not pushing too many numbers forward. There's been a few chances, but nothing to
speak about.
Yeah.
Jed Hornery with a really good chance at the back post, that close to the best of the match, and Christian Brymora had a header in the first half, which was well saved by Tyler Warren on the stretch. So Josh Pennington, who tried to stick a Bunsen burner under this particular match moments ago, just simmering away.
Bunsen burner.
Don't you remember them from science?
Yeah, chemistry, yeah. I did chemistry 101. I didn't do chemistry 102, but...
Here's Ensor.
Obviously, Bart's had too much time around Bunsen burners.
Oh! Oxborough picks out Vigili. What a ball. And Tyler Warren got his gloves to it. It almost slipped through, but he was able to clutch it.
Unsure what Cody Lucas was doing there, because he actually went towards the ball. We spoke about before about cricketers, how you hold ground and then you go for the ball. He actually went towards the ball initially, and it allowed, you could just tell he was going to miss the ball from this angle, and allowed Vigili to get him behind.
Couldn't take advantage though, James Vigili. And still we wait for a goal in this one. It's just going to be one of those half chances on one of these sides is going to have to be good enough to take it. He's John Majorowski, the man. He's on the bench at the moment.
I think he could be a key figure in this game.
When the matches are tight, he seems to stand tall invariably.
He'll be on very shortly, and there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, we said just before half-time, I'd probably introduce him after around the 60-minute mark. He needs to get out there. He's set up for big games. This is a big game. And he's set up for tight spaces.
Well, you asked, and here he comes. John Majorowski is going to replace Christian Brymora. His first start in Magic colours Christian Brymora. He had some decent chances. How do you think he would feel about this performance?
I thought he's done all right. He's battled pretty hard. He hasn't had too much service. A lot of it's been in the air. He's been in a few challenges. He's worked hard in defence. However, this game here, because Olympic are playing quite deep, you need people with excellent ball skills in tight situations. Johnny Madge is the man. He's going to be in and around the box. Magic's been in the box and around the box quite a bit during the game, but haven't been able to get the breakthrough or get a bit of space. That's what Johnny Madge is good at.
Cody Lucas. Now Hodges. Off the back of Oxborough. The 35-year-old John Majorowski.
Tremendous in last year's grand final.
And the golden boot for Hamilton Olympic, actually, back in 2009. The golden boot of the NPL, Northern New South Wales, playing for Hamilton when they won that grand final against Valentine Phoenix.
I will say, in all the years I've seen him play last year, even looking at him now, he's looking very fit, looking nice and slim.
Here's Pappas. And now McGuinness. The young midfield of Hamilton looking to find something. Here's Sutherland. Cuts infield. Moving this way and that and dinking it. And Hornery almost got there. And then Luke Vigili had to put it out just in front of that near post.
Jared Sutherland again, you know what he's like in tight spaces, CT. In and around the box.
Loved how he just looked like he was going to have a shot on target and then stopped. World opened up and he's just a little dink in there and looking for Hornery smudge, and that's the ability that he's got. Just elusive, you don't know what he's going to do.
Also Pettit. An interesting variation here, and Pappas's strike attempted to be deflected on goal by Tom Stewart.
Sometimes in those situations, he's only like 10 yards from the goal. I like to see him have a strike on goal. I know he tried to dink it into Jed Hornery, but Jared Sutherland, he had a great opportunity to have a strike on goal because the ball can ricochet anywhere, even if there's people in front of him.
I know that some coaches aren't a fan of the short corner. What was your thoughts on that, Smudge and CT?
Well, I think the short corner is about bringing some defenders out of the 18-yard box, so there's less. You don't want 9v9 in the box. It's hard to win a header. So if you can drag two of the defenders out, that's sometimes a good key. But also, if you play the short corner, you get a different angle knocking the ball into the box, and you can whip it in, and then you have a shot for goal, and all you need is a little deflection. I don't mind him.
Yeah, echo exactly the same.
As James Vigili is offside and the Magic fans find their voice below us.
Variety is the key there, Smudge.
And off the free kick, Hamilton Olympic foray forward through Scott Pettit. Curls it to the back post. Matt Hoole. Well, there's appeals for a handball. Matt Hoole had his hands by his side. I thought would have been very harsh to give that one.
There's a new rule with handball in the box, isn't there, Bart?
But I don't think it's come into effect yet. IFAB are reviewing it, and I'm pretty sure they are changing the terminology, or they have, but I don't think it comes into effect straight away. I think it comes into effect maybe halfway through the year. Could be wrong, but...
well, let us know when it does.
There's Cody Lucas down towards the byline. Josh Piddington was waiting there in the box. The man who won his 7th grand final last year. He's played in 7 grand finals, the Magic skipper, and he's won all 7. How about that for a record? It's Matt Hoole.
Remember many years ago, Jim Kresner, he won his first grand final with myself at Broadmeadow Magic, but he lost his first 6 grand finals. It might have been 7.
Sutherland hangs it up. Scott Pettit tried to loop it over Paul Bitts. Did it get lost in the sun, maybe? He seemed to be gesturing as to that kind of reason. As we see Magic make their second change, and it's another attacking one. Cody Carroll on and Justin Broadley off. Cody Carroll started that first round loss to Edgeworth.
So just looking right at the moment, he's brought Justin Broadley off. So he's played with 2 number 6s in Johnny Griff and Justin Broadley. Now he's playing with 1 number 6 and 2 number 10s in Oxborough and Cody Carroll. So Ruben's got intent to attack.
McGuinness on the volley, trying to knock it up the line.
That's a great ball.
Great turn. Majerowski, well blocked by Tom Stewart.
And that's what we're talking about, tight spaces. That's what we said. That's why Majerowski has brought him on.
He slotted in nicely at centre back as Tom Stewart. Really important block there. Here's another assignment for him to smother Majerowski. Now Cal Bradbury on the angle. Gee, it wasn't far away from the bottom corner. Tyler Warren didn't seem worried. It just flashed across goal.
Yeah, I think it's a good move by Ruben bringing Majerowski. Like we said before, they're compacting the space at Olympic, and that's what Johnny Madger's good. He's good at playing in tight, limited spaces.
Here's Hoole off the back of Pappas. This is the kind of range where Hoole picked out Majerowski last year in that FFA Cup match. Bounces over the goal line harmlessly.
It's nice, beautiful breeze just coming through.
Here's the new nature documentary host.
Well, if it's not hot up here, it is down on the sideline. I think that's what the reference to the bruise was about, because the Broadmeadow bench wound up for things to get on a little bit. Who'll deliver it a bit quicker. It was about the instructions from the coach.
Did I mention there's another goal up at Charlestown? Charlestown 4, Lake Macquarie 1. So what were you saying about Lake Macquarie this year, CT?
Surprise packet, should move up through the table.
It's only round 3, Smudge. They've only played 2 matches.
What they do need to work on is stop the goals, which was their issue last year, all jokes aside, and they get that right. And they got goals in them, but we know that they've got goals can leak into the back of their net.
Well, at the moment, it's not just a leak, CT.
But as you know,
Well, there's a poor ball from Cody Carroll straight to Jared Sutherland. And if he had his time over again, you would think he would have done something a whole lot different to that.
I think he could have easily just carried the ball. Hey, CT, there was acres of space. Created a 2v1 with Pennington or with Luke Virgili.
Well, we talk about sometimes we're like the Benny Hill show, but that patch of play was certainly that.
Well, even then from Paul Bitts, his pass misguided over the sideline. Matt Hill couldn't keep it in, and now Hamilton Olympic with possession.
Well, it was reference to a couple of incidents there. Sutherland and Bitts.
And Cody Carroll
before.
Cody Carroll. Might see Josh Piddington give the game another rev up.
So Scott Pettit again on free kick duty, and there's a lot of barging and bumping going on in the box. Tom Stewart and Luke Virgili were going at it for a moment there, so it's simmering away in that patch of the field. So
decent
balls it. Stewart there, and now McGuinness to the captain Kyle Hodges, dwelled on possession. McGuinness is cleaning up and finds his keeper Tyler Warren, who had no one coming at him. No pressure at all. Hornery. And now Ryan Ensor.
And we've got some viewers from Perth, Bart. We've got Mark Wilson. He loves watching Broadmeadow Magic, Mark Wilson, and he's a good mate of yours too, CT.
Yeah, as is yours. Legend of Newcastle football. Great identity, and it's been a great campaigner for Newcastle football for a lot of years, and still is doing some great work. He's been doing some fantastic things with his charity work with diabetes, Smudge, and it's great to see him on with us this afternoon.
Yeah, and he's moved west. He's one of the local identities, playing with the Breakers and the Newcastle United back in the day.
I'll tell you what,
one of the most capped players.
Both of these sides could use an industrious midfielder like him right now, Smudge.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They did lose an industrious midfielder last season, did Broadmeadow Magic. Shane Paul,
who's in the crowd today.
Ryan Ensor finds Cal Bradbury, and there is McGuinness getting himself in the road.
And I'll tell you what, Libby could transition nice and quick here.
Well, here it is, Smudge, and Scott Pettit. He looks up and curls this one up the line to Hornery. Josh Piddington put enough of a nudge on him just to knock him off balance, and he wins possession back for the home side. Now Bitts to Carroll. Just over 20 minutes to go in this round 3 match in the NPL Northern New South Wales. Broadmeadow Magic and Hamilton Olympic. The last time these two sides had a scoreless draw was back in round 1, 2015. Poole to Oxborough, who got tugged to ground by Stewart, and here's the first yellow card going the way of a player in blue.
Oxborough was very smart there, wasn't he, CT? The ball came in, just used his body. He could feel, he knew Stewart was coming at him and just turned the other way. A little bit of inexperience by Stewart. He didn't have to actually make the foul, and now this is a great position for Broadmeadow Magic, and especially Oxborough.
He was always going to be fouled. He didn't over milk it, and that's the key here. If he does that, Clea will see straight through it and potentially play it on. But he, as you say, Smudge, he picked it out perfectly, giving him a free shot on target.
Well, this is the moment, isn't it? for Mitch Oxborough, and that wall is much too close, so James Clear walking them back.
Tell you what, Hill's good at this angle as well.
It is into the breeze. So it's Oxborough who takes, and Tyler Warren read it well. Snuffed out the chance, and he looks to release. Jed Hornery couldn't quite pick him out. And here is the final drinks break. And still it remains locked up at 0-0, boys.
Yeah, very tight game. Like we said before in the first half, it's like a game of chess. Both sides playing similar formations, similar shapes, looking to do the same thing. Both trying to free up Reece Cooper or Mitch Oxborough Magic. Just like to see the ball moving a bit quicker for both sides, CT.
You can see Tyler Warren just having a chat there to James Cleal. And what do you think both coaches are saying to their sides here? At this drinks break, you get this additional time just to have a chat to the men out there. What are they both saying?
I'm actually enjoying watching Ruben talk down here. He's sort of quite animated with his expressions, isn't he, CT? What do you think he's trying to say?
Put the thing in the back of the net.
Saying come around there, pass the ball in there, then pass, clap, chip it over the top, pass through again.
He's getting very, very specific. He's talking about right now, John Nadjarovski. Hit him, he will not lose the ball. Play him into feet, firmly into the box. Get him there, he'll either drop it off or he's going to create a shot for himself. And we saw that a bit earlier, Smudge, where he was able to do that. With that, that's what he brings to the game, and that's the difference potentially between the two sides at his end anyway.
Exactly.
Because he's got that ability.
You know what, I think this game, I know we're talking about Magic, I think this game is set up for John Nadjarovski, but we were at the FFA Cup game last year at Hamilton, at Adamstown, remember, and we said the game was set up for John Nadjarovski. It was a very tight, similar sort of game, and he came on and scored the winner.
The question I've got is, do Hamilton Olympic need to make a change here?
I don't think so. I think Hamilton's looking quite comfortable at the moment. I think McGuinness be looking to bring someone on. I don't think he needs to change anything in with his back line. I know he's got Reece Pettit on the sideline. I think they're looking quite comfortable at the moment. There's no injuries except for Hodges he's a bit sore after the challenge earlier or fallen awkwardly.
You would think Reece Pettit would be held back by Pete McGuinness for the moment until they would get in front, and if they did, he would. Here's Carl Bradbury. A chance to put Broadmeadow Magic ahead. Takes on Duncan, and Tyler Warren smothered it initially. Here's Nadjarovski. Of course, it's John Nadjarovski against Hamilton Olympic once again. And the home fans are loving every minute of it.
Well, you said it, Smudge. This is set up for John Nadjarovski. You picked it in one. He stood, he delivered that ball in. Absolutely made no doubt where it was going to go. He absolutely put that where it had to be, Smudge.
But what John Nadjarovski does, he hangs around the box, always in and around that penalty spot. He's always there. You know he's going to be there. You just need to deliver the ball into him, and he's going to finish it. What Olympic cost them then? They'll ball watching a little bit. They pushed up a little bit. It's the first time they've really pushed up. And they'll caught napping just a little bit. The quick ball straight over to Bradbury. He was one-on-one with Duncan in a great position. Bounced down, passed back to Nadjarovski and slotted it away.
So quick change there for Hamilton. Ren Fukumoto is out there, and he has replaced Jed Hornery. So you see Scott Pettit has moved centrally and Fukumoto out to the right. So what can he add, the Japanese import?
The ball from Oxborough out to Bradbury. This is something that opened that opportunity. Bradbury had enough outs about him to cut it back when the angle was gone.
Now Duncan across goal. And that's swept away by Piddington.
Sorry about that. That's the first time Olympics been sort of caught napping a little bit, just pushing on a little bit. The ball came nice and quick from Oxborough, and it's the first time Bradbury's had some space.
And it was a good smother by Tyler Warren, but no one there to clean up the scraps except a man called John Nadjarovski in a red shirt. Carl Bradbury. And now Oxborough to Ensor. Here he is, Ryan Ensor in towards Nadjarovski. He's sniffing around for another one. Just when Magic need a goal, the man in the number 10, John Majerowski, seems to invariably stand tall.
We said in the first half, Bar, we thought Ruben will introduce him nice and early in the second half. The game was set up for him, and like it's such a tight game. And Mark Wilson's right on the money here.
Yeah, he says he's just said on a post that it's good to see you, Smudge, learning your trade under Ben Homer.
I'd say the reverse. I'm learning under you two. Here's Ryan Ensor taking on Fukumoto and beating him for pace, and then just blazing it across goal along the ground. Vigili with the back heel. Cody Lucas snuffing out the trouble. Ryan Smith, the other change for Hamilton Olympics. So a couple of men onto the park for them.
Who came off for Ryan Smith? Who came off?
Having a quick scan. We'll get that in a second.
Jared Sutherland.
It was Jared Sutherland.
I missed that one. That happened pretty quickly.
He's not mucking around, Pete McGuinness. And this could be Magic's first win at home in the regular season against Olympic since 2012. When you were here, Smudge, it's been a long time.
Good day that day. That was grand final, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't the regular season.
Oh, sorry.
It was earlier that season.
Sorry.
So, yes, Magic have won some finals matches here against Olympic, but during the regular season, hasn't been a great place. Is Fukumoto.
Ooh.
Pettit dinks it into the path of Reece Cooper, who, as I mentioned, hasn't scored against Broadmeadow Magic during his top flight career in the NPL or the NBN State League. As Griffiths held Fukumoto at arm's length. Duncan with the throw. Hodges on the bounce off the leg of Piddington away momentarily.
Just on Piddington, he's been very strong today, hasn't he, at the back?
And he was in doubt during the week. Ruben Zadkovich said to Craig Kerry from the Newcastle Herald that Justin Broadley and Piddington most likely wouldn't play this afternoon. Maybe a little bit of ducks and drakes there. Two very important players for Broadmeadow. They've had their part to play this afternoon. Poole. And now Piddington. He picks out Majerowski. Griffiths to Vigili. Bradbury dispossessed by Fukumoto, legally so, and now here's Scott Pettit, and that deemed to be illegal as well as he went to ground. He wanted the whistle, not granted by James Cleal. And Magic happy just to hold possession and slow things down here.
Yeah, I'd like to see now Olympic just come out a little bit more. They've been playing quite deep, like a transition type football, haven't they? Counter-attacking type football today. I'd like to see them just start to push on a little bit now. They're down by one. There's still a long way to go.
Well, they need to really, because now's the time to attack. Sitting in, catching on transition hasn't got the chocolates just at the moment, but as you say, Smudge, I'd like to see them now start to press and change it up a little bit to what it's been all game. Has been effective, but as we mentioned earlier, both teams overly created a lot of chances by the way the game has panned out.
Vigili. And he turned away from Cody Lucas. What a run this is from James Vigili across goal. And John Majerowski applauds that ball from James Vigili. That was beautifully done, especially inside the
John Majerowski.
There he is. And now Vigili. And over the byline.
Just going back, sorry, Bart, I nearly cut you off there. I just watched John Majerowski. When the ball went across to Bradbury, John Majerowski just stayed in the box. He didn't go and help Bradbury, just stayed in the box, and he nearly got another goal. That's what he does well. He doesn't drift out of the game, he just stays around that box. He knows where to be.
Here's Oxborough from distance. Plowed it into Kyle Hodges. And now Fukumoto.
Ooh.
Away from Ensor. Now we get a look at this import speed. Tried to dink it towards Scott Pettit. Peels for a handball. And James Cleal gives the free kick the other way. A little bit of frustration from Scott Pettit. His side down by a goal to nil. It was a wonderful afternoon last time they were here. It's not turning out that way so far. John Majerowski almost had a double there, Smudge. You seem pretty excited by it as well.
No. Just going back on Broadmeadow Magic, Hamilton Olympic at the moment. I think part of the reason why they are playing deep is to combat the pace. So there's no space beyond. Great headed by Majerowski for Virgili and Bradbury. So they're sort of compacting the space, and they haven't been able to get in behind too much today. Plus playing a good transitional top game.
Cody Carroll threaded it through for Virgili, but James Clear brings it back for the free kick. And Virgili threw it away from Tyler Warren. A little bit of gamesmanship. He might be lucky to avoid sanction. Clear is looking over at him. And now Pappas. Magic swarming in on him. This press from Oxborough and Majerowski, and now Bradbury as well. And Cody Carroll comes across, and here's Tom Stewart. He's off here. No? Well, I thought he got a yellow card earlier, and yep, here it is. A red card for Tom Stewart. Hamilton Olympic down to 10 men. And that makes the job even more difficult.
Smudge McGuinness, Peter McGuinness, that is saying go to 2.
What was that, CT? I missed that.
Peter McGuinness is saying to his side, go to 2.
To what?
I'm assuming he's mean two as in two holders and 2 in front, 1 up top.
So 4 at the back, 2-2-2, you're saying?
4 at the back, 2, and then 1 at the top. That's what I believe he's saying. I'm not quite sure. We'll see how that one opens up.
Here's Cal Bradbury. Can they put the nail in the coffin here? Well blocked by Olympic. It's all just gone a little pear-shaped in the last 10 minutes or so. John Majerowski scoring for Broadmeadow Magic off the bench. And then the red card for Tom Stewart, who had been decent really, and he received his yellow card only minutes before, so it was 2 yellow cards in very short time.
So there's still plenty of time. It was a bit, in hindsight, it's a bit of a silly challenge, because there's still like 12 minutes to play or so, 10 minutes to play, plus drinks breaks. And Olympic were well and truly in the game.
So Oxborough curling it. Marcus Duncan rose highest. And now Cal Bradbury onto the right. Hasn't been able to quite find his shooting boots so far this season. Yet to score in 2 matches so far, or almost 2 completed matches. Scored that wonderful goal to wrap up the grand final against Edgeworth last year, did Cal Bradbury. And now Matt Houle hooks up the line, instead pops infield for Griffiths, and back for Houle. Dinking it for Virgili, who was just offside.
Interesting, there's no one on the far side of the ground, because predominantly everyone underneath, and it's been quiet. Now there's a buzz. It's the first time since that goal there's been any sort of noise in the 2 games that we've been here.
And now Virgili, really good close control there.
And if they are to get a win today, restore some hope and faith in what the expectations are to be a big year, boys.
Well, a good bounce back after that round 1 mishap for Broadmeadow. And for Hamilton, maybe back to the drawing board if they can't find an equaliser. Getting that win over Western, they play Lambton during the week. That's a tough assignment against a Jaffers side who are full of confidence at the moment. 2 wins from their opening 2.
Olympics played quite well today, haven't they? They've knocked the ball around well. I think their game plan's been spot on. They've sort of playing more of a transition, counter-attacking football against Magic, and they've had a few good chances.
Is it the cutting edge in the front third? Has that been what's lacked for them so far this afternoon? Virgili kicks out Cal Bradbury. Can he score his first of the season? No.
Great ball by James Virgili to find out Bradbury at the back stick.
Well, the skill to get past your defender, the little dink over the top, and then the delivery, that pinpoint smudge.
Look at this press again for Broadmeadow Magic. Matt Hoole winning ball.
They've grown an arm and a leg since the send-off and the goal.
Well, they're going in for the killer blow. Cale Bradbury has Smith backtracking. Well blocked by Smith in the end, and now McGuinness wins it from the clutches of Mitch Oxborough. Enza and Bradbury. Oxborough has plenty of time. Kicks out Hoole.
So going back on McGuinness, he's playing two strikers instead of playing a 4-3-3. He's doing a
Cale Bradbury.
A 4-3-2.
Just looking up there. Enzor drills it and beats everyone.
So the risk is obviously playing with 10 players. Is that he's well defended? They're going to be overloaded in the midfield.
Well, that's exactly the problem, Smudge. And if you are outnumbered in the middle of the park, that's where your damage is getting done. And that's what we're seeing from Broadmeadow right now. They've got the numbers and they're dominating the play. Effectively, two up front for Olympic. One of them, well, in fact, they're both sitting there as spectators. He obviously has a reason for doing that. And I'll never doubt his tactical ability.
Ryan Smith under some pressure here from Mitch Oxborough. Turns away nicely in the end. But they're just being suffocated at the moment, Hamilton Olympic. Trying to find an opening, but Magic are just snuffing them out at every opportunity. This is better from them though. Fukumoto. Piddington across to clean up for Broadmeadow Magic and it'll trickle across for a goal kick. So Reese Pettit comes on for Hamilton Olympic, the final change. They only had 3 outfield players on the bench, Hamilton Olympic. So Reese Pettit goes out there. He missed the opening match against Western. He was away, he's been away, and now slots into the midfield. So what can he add? Reese Pettit, the former Valentine centre-back. Skipper of Valentine, actually, last season. He is trying to win possession from John Griffiths. And now Oxborough to James Virgili on the outside of Cody Lucas. Virgili, and well saved by Tyler Warren, who had to close him down quickly, squeezed the legs and made the save and keeps Olympic in the match for the moment. Space again on the flanks for Cody Carroll. Magic just being urged to keep it for the moment. Cody Carroll has Enzor making the overlapping run. Oxborough. Olympic just hanging off at the moment, trying to conserve some energy. Down to 10 men with Tom Stewart sent off. 10 minutes to go. Inside the final 3 or so minutes of regulation time. We will have some stoppage time. Here's Bradbury getting the right boot free. Marcus Duncan put his body on the line. But it's all Magic in possession at the moment. Targeting their first win of the year. Enzor curled it towards the back post. Now Cody Lucas has attempted releasing ball, tried to find Reese Pettit, but John Griffiths...
He's been solid, hasn't he? John Griffiths been a great addition. He's missed the last game, missed the grand final. It's great for Magic to have him back, and they've...
Well, Oxborough's just turned it over, and here's Pappas. His pass was overhit. Nervy moments there for Broadmeadow Magic. Olympic finally with some possession.
I know Magic's playing against 10 men, but I really like it when they keep the passes short, because they've got players who can play. And sometimes they just, for me, they just play a bit too much longer stuff.
and especially when they do have that extra number in the middle of the park, they can easily find someone, and it's not hard to do. And as you say, they've got technical ability to burn, keep the football, just make them earn it at the moment.
Scott Pettit looks up, stabbed it over the top. Nothing doing though for Hamilton Olympic. And here's John Majerowski making the run. Well, he had Ryan Ensor on the far side. He plays him in, and Marcus Duncan read it well. So should have he taken on the strike himself, John Majerowski. It was very unselfish.
Well, you're going to say it, CT? Yeah, honestly, he had acres of space. I thought he could have slotted it home or even take on Tyler Warren. He's such a skillful player. He can finish. He's the best. He's one of the best in the game. But obviously, he was probably unsure that Olympic had the defender. He'd probably seen Ryan Ensor free, and it was well defended by the Olympic defender. So he thought it was just going to be a simple tap-in.
Well, I think you're right. I think he's just thought that was a tap-in. But you know what? He's clinical. Put the thing in the back of the net, make it 2-0, game over.
Yep.
However, take nothing away from the opportunity created.
Just 3 Magic players in the box. It falls for James Virgili on the edge of it. The radar not locked on that occasion. So we're into stoppage time now in this round 3 match. The local derby between Broadmeadow Magic and Hamilton Olympic, and it's John Majerowski's goal which separates the sides. Tom Stewart off the ground. He's been sent off. So Hamilton down to 10 players. And Ruben Zadkovic looking to make Magic's final change. Jeremy Wilson waiting on the sideline. Substitution just to take a little more time off the clock. It's Cal Bradbury. Looks up and sees Ryan Smith, who's going backwards quickly. Here is Cal Bradbury. Here is another chance for Cale. And the frustration continues for the Magic front man. He must think there's a force field around the goals, which is preventing him from scoring at the moment.
Yeah, especially in the last 10-15 minutes. He's had some chances, Bradbury.
So Jeremy Wilson goes onto the park, replacing Matt Houle. Came on at half-time in that opening round match against Edgeworth, so his second appearance of the season. Oxborough. Lovely ball over the top. Well, Virgili's just offside. Well, that was poetry in motion, wasn't it, Smudge? The way he controlled and angled that pass.
Yep.
And John Majerowski now, has he gone into the book there?
It looks like it.
He won't mind.
Been a few yellow cards today, but it hasn't been a dirty game, but there's been some cards handed out. A red.
There has a red.
How many yellows?
Well, just count them up. I think it's about 7. Oxborough. Now to Bradbury.
It's been far from a dirty game.
On our scoreboard, the stats should come up just below the clock, as we see Cole Hodges, a really great feature of the Bar TV coverage this season. The additional stats is Fukumoto. They're still only behind by a goal, Hamilton Olympic. So here's a chance for them to equalise late on. Cody Lucas. Pettit couldn't nudge it on, and now here is Reese Pettit. Not related. He couldn't get to the ball first, and it's come off him last. It's incredible, Smudge. It's quite hard to believe that it's only a goal the difference, because Broadmeadow have had some wonderful chances late on to seal the deal, take off with all 3 points.
Yeah, it was a very tight affair up until about last 15 minutes when the Tom Stewart got sent off, as well as Johnny Madge scoring for Broadmeadow, sort of opened the game up a little bit.
And it was such a tight match that just that small little change has brought all the difference, and saw clipped by Hodges.
And just up at Charlestown, the game's all wrapped up there. 4-1 to Charlestown over Lake Macquarie.
So 2 wins on the trot for Charlestown after they beat Edgeworth last week.
Very congested table, isn't it, Bart?
It is very congested, and I think a few people may have written off Charlestown after that first round defeat to the Jets youth. So they're just showing their wares now. They've got a great side. Matt Jarofsky brings it down. Tempted bicycle by Reese Pettit to clear it away.
So is that just leaving the Jets and Lambton undefeated?
Just trying to think. I think you're right there. It's John Griffiths. Runs it down.
And Western?
Western went down to Olympic.
Valentine's still undefeated. So there's three teams still undefeated.
The Phoenix obviously have only played the one match. Next week, Broadmeadow, they face Adamstown. That's our match of the round next Saturday at Adamstown Oval. That's a big game for Adamstown as well. They can't really afford to lose that. 4 straight to start the season. They've got a tough month ahead. And Hamilton play Lambton midweek. So up goes Don Griffiths. Vigili. Fukumoto. And now Pettit. Reese Pappas. Well, it's last chance saloon time here for Hamilton Olympic, and he couldn't keep that one in. And Broadmeadow's recent domination against Hamilton Olympic continues as they win for the 4th time in 5 matches against Hamilton Olympic. And they put a disappointing result in round 1 behind them, and that's their first win in the regular season against Hamilton Olympic at home since 2012. Olympic unable to make it back-to-back wins to start the season for the first time since 2006, and they move on to face Lambton Jaffers on Wednesday night at Darling Street Oval, their first match at home. And for Broadmeadow Magic, they meet Adamstown Rosebud next Saturday night at Adamstown Oval. Full-time at Magic Park. Broadmeadow Magic 1, Hamilton Olympic 0. And the difference was Smudge, John Majorowski.
And the send-off as well. I thought, the difference was John Majorowski, but also the send-off just opened up the game for Magic, and they had multiple chances towards the end of the game. But up until that stage, Magic was just getting on top when Majorowski came on, but up until that stage, it was a very even game. Like we said, it was like a game of chess.
And the clinical finishing, that's Magic had a John Majorowski that could finish in that moment where he had to, and Olympic this afternoon just couldn't quite find the back of the net. You look at that chance for Jed Horner in the first half at the back post. He had an air
great opportunity, yep.
And that was a massive chance to make it 1-0. So hopefully we'll be able to hear from John Majorowski with Chris Turner, who's down there, having a chat to him. Magic faithful really appreciating the 3 points. And that opening round defeat, a distant memory now. And the table quite even. We will go through that shortly as we sort out this interview with John Majorowski. We might head down to Chris Turner in just a second, and then we'll run through the ladder. As Smudge said, very, very congested at the moment. Wins and losses for plenty of sides to start the campaign. Chris Turner, let's head downstairs to you.
Yeah. Here with John Majorowski, boys. Major, look, this game is always an interesting one. First of all, the history between Broadmeadow Magic and Hamilton Olympic. These games, what do they mean?
They mean a lot, mate. They mean a lot to me. I was a bit disappointed not to start the game, but that's football. I'm getting older. I understand the role I've played. But we heard a stat before the game. We've only won 2 out of the last 9 here against Olympic, so we wanted to rectify that, and we did today, 1-0.
Now, coming into that half-time, what did the coaches say? What did Ruben say to you?
Just keep doing what we're doing. I think we had more possession than they had. They sat a lot deeper, and we knew in the second half they'd open up, and that worked the teeth for me and Cody that come on.
So your strengths, we've spoken about it before, your ability to hold the ball up, was that something key in the back end of the game that Ruben was looking for?
I think it was, yeah. During the game, I was watching Christian up front, and he tried to do that, but that's not his strength. His strength is running behind, and Ruben said to me when I come on, mate, just go up there, hold the ball, ball, get the other players in play, and that's what we did, and we scored.
Yeah, absolutely, he scored. And just while we're on that, this goal that you scored, the opportunity popped up, you were in the perfect position. What does it personally mean to you to score a goal like that in the big games?
As Ruben said to me before the game, mate, I'm a big match player. I don't like playing the no-meaning games, but any goal's a goal for a striker, mate. I'll take the tap-ins, I'll take the bombs, and it means the world, and we won 1-0, mate, 3 points. That's the most important thing.
Damien Smith called it through the game. He said this game is set up for John Majerowski. You scored, and then the elation, the game seemed to have changed after that. Olympic had a send-off, and then it was pretty much one-way traffic magic. Is that the way it felt out in the park?
Yeah, it did. That's why Smudger was a good coach, mate. He could see the game before anyone else could. It worked out to a T to us. We played the game, we stuck to the game plan, and we knew they were going to sort of die in the second half, and they did, and it worked a T for me.
Well, congratulations. Deserved winners today. Great bounce back, and go and enjoy the celebration with your teammates.
No worries. Thanks, CT. Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Back to you, boys.
Well, there you go. John Majerowski, big game player. With it two, you know that game you play where it's you say 3 truths and a lie. Well, I think he said 1 truth, which was he's a big game player. I agree with that. And the stat about they'd won 2 of their last 9. The lie in there was you're a good coach. Was that the lie?
That is actually a lie. Yeah, it is actually a lie. But we've said before with Johnny Majerowski, what he does, he just drifts around the box. He doesn't get caught too wide or too deep. He just hangs and sniffs around the box, and he knows how to finish the goal off. And you could see the game was set up for him. We called it early. We called it in the first half. And in the end, I think Olympic put up a great fight until probably that last 15, 20 minutes when Majerowski scored. They get the send-off. Tom Stewart was sent off, and then Magic just ran away with it towards the end.
So that table, Lambton and Charlestown and Western up the top 3 with 6 points apiece. Edgeworth in 4th with 4 points. The Jets in 5th with 4, and then Valentine, Olympic, Broadmeadow all on 3, and then Maitland, Adamstown and Lake Macquarie all in the bottom 3.
And the beauty about the game, the competition so far, there's been a lot of unexpected results. So it's good, it's nice and open, and it'll be interesting to see results over the coming weeks.
Well, that's exactly the way we like it, Smudge. We don't want to predict exactly what happens, and it's been that kind of start to the season. Well, that wraps it up from Magic Park this afternoon. Great to have your company once again. A reminder, the match of the round next week is next Saturday at Adamstown Oval, Broadmeadow, up against the Rosebuds. Looking forward to that one. Until then, good afternoon from Magic Park. It was Magic 1, Olympic 0.